welcome back to Family Bible Time. Last week's story was the road to Emmaus. So the quiz this week is on the road to Emmaus. So question number 1 is, how many people were on the road to Emmaus? The answer is 2 people. The second question is, how many miles was it from Jerusalem to Emmaus? The answer is 7. Question number 3 is, what did Jesus explain to the men on the road? What did Jesus explain to the men on the road? The answer is the Old Testament. Question number 4 is, what caused the men to realise it was Jesus? The answer is Jesus breaking the bread. Question number 5 is, where did they then go once Jesus disappeared? The answer is Jerusalem. It's now time for our story this week. Our story this week is from Acts 2, 42 to 47. I'll be reading it from this version of the Bible, which is the International Children's Bible. So I'll give you some time to find it yourself. It's Acts 2, 42 to 47. Okay, hopefully you found it so you can follow along as a family. They spent their time learning the apostles' teaching, and they continued to share, to break bread, and to pray together. The apostles were doing many miracles and signs, and everyone felt great respect for God. All the believers stayed together. They shared everything. They sold their land and the things they owned. Then they divided the money and gave it to those people who needed it. The believers met together in the temple daily. They all had the same purpose. They broke bread in their homes, happy to share their food with joyful hearts. They praised God, and all the people liked them. More and more people were being saved every day. The Lord was adding those people to the group of believers. And that's our story this week. This week, the story is all about the early church sharing things and looking after one another, and how they worshipped and how they did times together. Now, spending time together, I think, is crucial, particularly at this time, and it's very difficult for us to spend time with those that aren't in our homes at the moment. In fact, it's impossible. We shouldn't be. However, we shouldn't be spending time with them in person. However, we have the wonderful thing of the internet and video chatting. So we can spend time with people we love through talking to them on our phones, on our laptops, on our iPads, on our Android tablets, on anything we have. And we can spend time talking to them, video chatting, texting, on the phone, on a normal phone call with them. And so you can spend time with people doing that, and there's lots of things you can do while doing that. The other thing we can do is make sure we're spending time with those in our house. And so my challenge for you as a family is to try and have at least 2 to 3 meals a week where you have no screens and you sit round a table and you eat food together. And that's my challenge. Try that twice a week, 3 times a week. Some of you may already be doing that. But my challenge is to try and spend time together with no screens. it's now time for our discussion. And our first question, as always, is, I wonder what your favourite part of the story or the reading was today. Number 2, I wonder what your least favourite part of the story or reading was today. Question number 3, I wonder what we could take out of the story and still have the whole story. Question number 4 is, I wonder how you would have helped others back then. So, now we have our prayer activity. This week, there are 4 different types of prayers I want us to pray. The first one is adoration to God, or praising God. The second one is thankfulness, saying thank you prayers to God for what He's done for us. The third one is asking God for help for what we need. And the fourth one is confessing to God about the things we have done and confessing to God the wrong things we have done. Now, with each of these, we can chat with God, but we need to remember to also catch from God. Thank you very much for joining me this week. It's been great to have you again. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.